All right, so UFC 322 is taking place this Saturday. We've got the reigning welterweight champion, Jack Della Maddalena, taking on the former UFC lightweight king and number one pound for pound fighter, Islam Makhachev. Now, many people will have you believe that this fight is easy. It's simple to discuss. It's simple to talk about. Well, I see it a little bit differently. I think that this fight has a lot of twists and turns, a lot of different intricacies. Both of these guys have their keys to victory, have their ways they could win. They also have their areas of concern. For me, I'm going to start with the lightweight champion, the former lightweight champion and challenger of the welterweight championship, Islam Makhachev. So I'm going to take you guys to a critical moment in Islam Makhachev taking on, lightweight contender at the time, Dustin Poirier. But you might be saying to yourself, why is that so significant? Well, he's fighting a pressure fighter in JDM that refuses to back up. He's fighting a guy that says, you know what, I'm going to be the hammer and you're going to be the nail. See, Dustin Poirier, he had so much respect for the Dagestani wrestling style. Dustin Poirier went up against a guy like Khabib Nurmagomedov. Dustin Poirier knew what Islam was trying to do. And because he was so gun-shy, because he was so worried about Islam putting him in this exact position, well, Islam got that exact position. See, a guy like JDM isn't going to allow you to get him in this situation. Also, JDM is bigger, right? JDM is bigger than a Dustin Poirier. Islam is trying to slow cook Dustin Poirier while this fight is on the ground. My biggest issue with Islam in this is, to me, there wasn't a lot of threat. There was a lot of trying to slow cook. At one point in the fight, he takes Dustin Poirier's back, right? Wasn't able to sink the choke in, wasn't able to make it happen. But Islam has this style essentially where he likes to implore the jab, and it's all to get you to back up, respect him, because Islam has some good striking, not some great striking, some good striking, right? But for me, there doesn't always seem to be enough intent when he throws. That being said, Islam's goal is very, very simple. It's to get you to back up, get you along the fence, take you down, grind you out. But I got a little bit of a different solution for Islam. If he wants to walk away as the welterweight champion on Saturday night in Madison Square Garden, he has to implore that jab that he does have. He has to give JDM different looks. He has to get respect from JDM. He needs to make JDM feel threatened when the fight does get to the ground, right? But how do you get it to the ground? You need to make sure he's able to back JDM up behind this black line. You see right here, he's threatening, right? That was my next third thing. He needs to threaten with submissions. There's a great transition to the back of a guy like Dustin Poirier, but he needs to threaten with submissions while he's on the ground. He needs to earn respect. You see, here's what I think for Islam. I think Islam needs to do himself a favor. He needs to get JDM behind this black line. He needs to get JDM behind this black line. He gets JDM behind this black line, he can shoot as many takedowns as he wants to. The interesting thing about Islam Makhachev, he does not shoot from the open. He does not. Anything that's inside this rectangle thing, this octagon, he does not do. He doesn't shoot. It's non-existent. He strikes. The moment he sees you go beyond the black line, he shoots a takedown. That's the Dagestani way. And then they chain wrestle and they put it together. So what does JDM need to do? JDM needs to make sure he stays in the center. He needs to stay in the center while this entire fight is going on. I think if he does that, I think that the threat of an Islam Makhachev and what Islam is going to try to implore on him is very minimal. I think the damage is going to be very, very minimal. But stay beyond that black line. So again, Islam Makhachev is a guy, he will try to threaten to take down. Right here, this is the moments that JDM is going to have to try and win against him. This is him against Dustin Poirier. He shoots a takedown, right? Dustin tries to hit a leg kick. He goes for a takedown, but what happens? Dustin is able to get away. Why? Because he doesn't have the cage there to help him chain wrestle. He doesn't have the cage there to help him go from the single leg to the double leg to then pick you up. There's no wall walk. There's none of that. I'm not trying to say these guys aren't great open space wrestlers, but they definitely use the side of the cage to their advantage. If Jaden's able to keep this in the center, look, you got Islam backing up now. And Islam does this thing where if he doesn't get the first takedown, he starts to strike with you a little bit more. It's like he almost starts to lose confidence in himself. Dustin Poirier's got this guy backing up. It's easier to shoot when you're the hammer. It's harder to shoot when you're the nail. Now Islam's where he doesn't want to be. Islam's now behind the black line. Everything that Islam does with that style of medicine, it's all to get Dustin Poirier to back up behind that black line again. If he doesn't, he shoots a takedown. If he doesn't get it, he doesn't shoot again for another minute and a half. The guy is force regulated to striking. The only way he'll shoot again is if he sees you go behind that black line. So again, it's easier said than done, especially with the pressure of these Dagestani guys. And Islam, I respect his striking. He has a nasty 1-2 punch. But I think that if JDM's able to keep it in this center, hear me out. As long as this fight takes place in the center of the octagon, Islam Makhachev is in trouble. So what is Islam's keys to victory? Well, simple. It's implore your jab, right? It's to get JDM behind the black line. Get JDM behind the black line. You get JDM behind the black line, you can implore your takedowns. Once you get the takedowns, though, Islam, don't do what everybody says you do or other fighters do. Don't just stall there. Don't stall there. Don't stall there. Threaten with submissions. Make him respect it. You want to know why? Because JDM's a guy that if you try to lay and prey on a JDM, he's going to get up. He makes a conscientious decision when he's in there. And we're going to look at the Belal Muhammad fight where he says, you know what? I'm not going to quit on myself. I'm not going to let you hold me down. I'm not going to let you take my back. I'm going to get up. As long as this fight stays standing, I don't think that this is a fight Islam Makhachev with his looping hooks is going to win. I think JDM is the better boxer. I think JDM is the better striker. That's what I got for you for Islam. Now, we look at a guy in JDM, right? Taking on champion Belal Muhammad, who tries to implore a similar style of Islam Makhachev, right? Heavy pressure. Throws his jab, throws a nice 1-2 out there. But JDM, this goes back to what I'm saying. JDM immediately takes the center of the octagon. He immediately is in your face. He immediately forces you back and he says, you know what? You're not going to be the hammer today. I'm going to be the hammer. And how are you going to adjust? JDM has great head movement. JDM does a great job of backing his opponent up. And remember how we talked about that black line, right? Think about it. JDM kept Belal Muhammad behind the black line. Remember, these guys with a heavy wrestling style, right? They want to use the wall as their friend. But what happens when the striker with devastating strikes is able to make the wall his friend and able to make you back up and able to make you become on the defensive? And I think that's the part about JDM's game. When we talk about complete mixed martial artist, that is Jack Della Maddalena. He is a complete mixed martial artist. He has a high guard. Again, you're going to take shot. You're going to try to throw shots at him. It's going to ricochet a lot of it off the top of his head. And he's going to keep coming at you. One shot that could hurt Islam Makhachev, it's that right there. It's that shot from JDM right there. Body hit. You know what I mean? If he's able to find that on Islam Makhachev while Islam is backing up, being the bigger fighter, being the guy with the more devastating punch power, you have to wonder, how is Islam going to take the punches up at welterweight? You have to wonder that. This is a guy in JDM who has crisp boxing. So when we talk about how Islam can employ his game plan, right? Islam's going to have to throw early and often and take some chances in there. Look, Belal Muhammad was able to take some chances. He starts throwing. He's getting tagged up while this is happening. But look, he got JDM backing up finally behind that black line. This is the danger zone for JDM. Anytime JDM is against this cage, behind this black line in the octagon, he is in trouble. Why? Because that tells Islam, it goes off in his brain, I can shoot a takedown. And the chances are JDM is going to find himself in this moment at some point in the fight with an Islam. He's going to do that. Now he's starting to get his own takedown off. Again, I think the thing that's important to remember, when JDM was able to stuff this takedown, get this, it was because Belal Muhammad didn't shoot a serious takedown until towards the end of the round. At that point, both of you guys had pretty much emptied or dumped your gas tank to a degree, or he definitely did. Because guess what? If you are forcing the wrestler to stand, that's more tiresome. You know, and this is round 4 of the Belal Muhammad JDM fight. JDM is, again, we talked about him being in a flow state and him backing his opponent up. Think about it right here. This is where JDM felt good. JDM is pressuring him. and he goes head, body. Like, I think those are the moments that JDM is going to find himself taking over this fight. To me, this fight is a fight that I think a lot of fans might not be looking forward to the most, but they should be, because these are two dudes who are specialists at what they do. To me, I feel like JDM has some clear advantages, like the striking, like keeping this fight in the center instead of going behind the black line. Because think about it, this is not where JDM wants to be with Islam. And if you get him there, I think that's where you start dealing with those sweeps. I think that's when you start getting him down over and over again. I think that's when you try and take the bag. Either way, this is a huge fight taking place this Saturday. Huge fight taking place this Saturday. And fight fans, if you're not excited for this one, you should be. Because again, the person who's able to be the hammer in this fight will truly be the victor.